Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game Raiders, series where we look at a game to determine if it's worth your time or if it ain't worth a dime. Today's title, we are looking at the early access game, Palworld, a Pokemon influenced game that gives your creatures weapons. Now, let's open our textbooks to Chapter 1. Starting with the game's looks, we see bright open island just filled with resources and creatures. Couple broken buildings here and there, but otherwise no big signs of any civilizations. Characters are designed more to resemble someone from an anime, and pals seem to be very basic or stripped from a Pokemon game with small tweaks and redesigns so they avoid copyright infringements. Very clever, I know. Items that seem somewhat out of place, like a rocket launcher or maybe even some firearms, may still fit the overall aesthetic of the world depending on if it's helpful or hurtful. Because let's be honest, the penguin holding a cannon just seems somewhat excessive. Overall, I see this as an interesting game to be eye-catching if you have no idea what a Pokemon game looks like, which is very rare. Visuals get a B. With a pleasant background music and the many different creatures squeaking about, I don't recall hearing any of the pals say their name like a Pokemon would do. But they did make many animal squeaks and growls, as said, with each power move getting their own sound effect to match the element. Sadly, there were no voiceovers for conversations from your overall characters, but there was a choice of tone for your character's grunts. Weird, but we'll run with it, I guess. Sounds get a C+. The gameplay reminds me of a mix of two games. Besides the obvious being Pokemon, I see a decent mix of Ark and Minecraft. You're left in an open world with the opportunity to go wherever and do whatever you want. Build a house, armory, or just a campfire. Doesn't really matter. Fighting enemies is easy at first, but will get more complicated the higher level you are, or they get. And they do spawn very high level pals, as they call them, around the world. Unlock items from a research tree and build them using materials found from trees, boulders, ores, or even their own special rock that I cannot for the life of me remember because it has a stupid name. Finding chests for extra items and, well, catching their pals in your homemade bootleg Pokeballs. That's about it. You can fast travel around the world at one of its many spots and keep going at the instructions I just gave you and don't die. Starting the game will be slow, but does pick up the pace very smoothly and quickly. Gameplay gets a friendly C+. Palworld is an interesting take on Pokemon. However, I feel without many voices from NPCs or your character, you're left with a mix of mediocrity from a game too similar to Ark than it is its Pokemon nature. And with what I said earlier of your pals looking like already created Pokemon, it really demeans on the unique aspect of the game. Palworld feels like a C, and no higher at that. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe below. And while you're down there, leave a comment for a game you'd like to see covered on a future episode of Game Raider. Until then, we will see you next time.